Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Zwift's Community Live broadcast of the Kiss Crit Series European Edition presented by Tacx. We got about 4 minutes to go to the start of the race. If you aren't familiar with the Kiss Crit Series, this is a series in which riders are competing out on Zwift for their best of 7 races, counting toward a series in which the top 10 will be invited to a live final, all expenses paid. And so in the European edition right now, we have the current series leaderboards actually up and ready to go for you for the current top 10 in the series. So it looks like here currently sitting in first place with the leader jersey in game. It's going to be Kim Little right now, followed up by Soren Bay and then Gavin Dempster. Now the points separation you can see over at zwiftpower.com, and Kim Little's currently sitting with 114 points. Soren Bay in second there with 108. Gavin Dempster with 85. So quite a ways off, but Gavin's only got about 5 races in so far. Tim Cartwright, always want to be watching out for, sitting in 4th place right now, 82 points, only 5 races though. Soren and Kim, the only ones in this series that are in that top 5 currently that have 7 races in. A little further down, Frank Bakalov as well as Tobias Mueller in that 9th and 10th do have 7 races in, so they're going to have to be battling it out, I think, with a few of the racers coming up behind them in 11th, 12th, 13th place that do not have 7 races in. So we should see some shuffling around in the men's standings coming up in this series. So we are in week number 6 right now. And in week number 6 with the women's racing, Rachel Elliott just continues to dominate the races. She has won every race she has showed up to so far. She has 6 races in and 120 points. Z Kreider, 101 points, 7 races in, but Patricia Angerman starting to creep up on that second place with only 4 races, but 77 points. So 101 to 77 there between Z and Patricia, but Z with those 7 races in and a 14.4 point average on all the races that she's had, while Patricia with a 19 point average, meaning she usually takes second place, probably going to start creeping up on the leaderboard. And look, in that 9th and 10th and 8th place, we do have a tight battle with 66 points currently going to Jerlene, Kirsten Pohl, and then Wilhelm Prinz there, 55 and 54 respectively. Watch out for Carrie Konebear as well as Steve Engmo and Lindy Gray to be creeping into that 8th, 9th, and 10th places, because they currently have 4, 5, 6 races in and could easily jump into that top 10. Now we do have a little bit of a treat today for you as well. On board with us in the men's race, we do have, it looks like, about a minute 10 to start. 179 in the start pens right now, next to my avatar right now. But on board with us, current series leader, Kim Little. We will have his perspective throughout the race here and there. We'll bring him on board to see what those real life efforts are looking like throughout the race. So we'll be able to watch the series leader, what kind of moves that he's going to make throughout the race, as well as watching the race proper that we usually have here for the broadcast for you guys and gals. Now, if you do want to interact with the broadcast, like usual, we do have our social media integration. So go ahead, jump on into the conversation. All you have to do that is either tweet at Z Community Live, tweet at Z Community Live, or you can also jump in by commenting on Facebook. Actually, this is from last night. Actually, there was a rider that jumped in on the Scott Lagasse ride and was able to get their tweet out there. Andrew Banky saying howdy, hello, over at Zwift's Facebook, where we have posted our live stream as well. Now, we are also live over on Twitch, and I am following the Twitch feed as well. So if you would like to interact over at Twitch, I will be watching that very closely. What's going to be really interesting here, though, with the onboard perspective, actually, let's go ahead and see if we can grab this real quick. This is what the start of a race looks like for the series leader right now. Kim Little up and out of the saddle, 520 watts, 151 beats per minute. And you can see the avatar perspective that he's using there is interesting. I'm surprised, though, that his cover-up for the power-up is not a scone. Interesting that he's using he's using a burger and drink there. Maybe trying to go a little bit more on the American side of things, as usually Kim's powering up on scones, I thought. But there is that perspective of the start, 500 watts. That's what it looks like for him to be pushing that out right now. We'll keep on checking in with Kim as the race goes on. I'm seeing from Zwift HQ actually here, Mr. Tom Hargreaves is logged in and looking to grab a few points in the series. 5.4 watts per kilogram currently coming from him. And I believe Tom is actually in the top 20 currently with 32 points. He took a second place at one point in the series. He's only got 2 races in, though, and there's only, I believe, let's see here, about 5 races left to go, halfway point. So he would have to compete in every single race from here on out in order to grab 7 races total. Now, if he keeps on going the way he has, though, he averages about 16 points per race. So Hargreaves may be able to still jump into that top 10 if he keeps on showing up for the races. Now, on the women's side of things, again, it's about 23 seconds to go to the start of their race. We are logged into the pens over here with them. Good luck to all the ladies out there. 15 seconds to start. It does look like about 37 of them currently in the pens. Again, here are the leaderboards for the women. Be watching out for these women out there today. Rachel Elliott, of course, if she is in the race, we'll see if she tries to walk away with it right from the get-go. But here we go with the start. Jay Abbott's here. Beck is here as well, looking toward the front to see if there's an attack from the get-go. I do believe I do see the leader's jersey out there up front. There is Rachel. Cassie Baldy's there as well. Prinz is there as well. We did see Prinz in the 10th place currently, coming out of the Netherlands. So we'll be watching out for her, maybe to try and be working her way up in the overalls here. But again, Rachel trying to break everybody right from the get-go here. Cassie, though, playing it smart, jumps right on that wheel. And with drafting being real in the game, just like it is in riding outdoors, you jump on that wheel, you can grab that draft and work way less. But Rachel continues to kick. Every time you see that orange number next to her watts per kilograms, up in that 8 watts per kilogram, you are going to be seeing a little bit of a gap between her and the other riders, most likely, unless they respond very quickly. Rachel now calming down just a little bit for a moment, but again, kicking over and over again. We'll give her a ride on with this effort here. Kay Falk here from Vision, though. Watch out for her. She is always a threat in every single race she jumps into. She's been doing the CVRs on Tuesday and walking away with them. If anybody's going to be able to hang on to Rachel's wheel for the duration of this flat, it's going to be Falk. But now, Rachel, with the uphill and this little downhill section, as they get out onto the course, they've got these couple little undulations before they hit the actual first climb proper into Trafalgar Square. We see already an aero power-up taking out the pack. 5 seconds. She's got that 7 watts per kilogram. It is kicking like crazy here, and Falk now is going to have to work with the rest of the group, but I think everybody is, at this point, again, is just going to be racing for second place. We'll see if they get organized, but 9 seconds already. Rachel Elliott walking away with this one again, as she usually does. It looks like it will be a race for second place out there today. Cassie Baldy, though, their Team Experimental, 4.7 watts per kilogram, starting to make a second break happen here. Watch out for Patricia Angerman, who is currently sitting in 3rd place in the series overall, following very quickly to the wheels of those who are trying to make that second break take place. And here's Carrie Conabear, currently tied for 10th place in the series, trying to get back on terms with Kay Gray's wheel. 6 seconds the difference between Carrie and that next group up there, and it looks like there is another break taking place early on here, and the women's race already, so many breaks, so many attacks, and it's heating up to be a very tactical race here. And now heading toward the front now, we do see Jen from KRT now throwing down arrow power up and not waiting up for that group, not looking to work with them, it looks like, immediately trying to make that break happen and get into this second chase group and not bring anybody with her, though. Doesn't want any extra baggage, it looks like, as she heads into this second chase group. She's got a lot of work cut out for her at this point. She's going to make it up there because Z Kreider's at the front here, pushing 3 watts per kilogram. Then we see Jen here, though, unable to get away from Angmo and Kona Bear at this point. So this will be the third chase group. Second chase group out on course. First chase group, Z Kreider leading things out here. Elliott off the front now, as you can see. Now, back in with the men's race, though. Let's see what's happening between the riders here. And it looks like up toward the front here, we do have about 15th place with Hargreaves. Brett Boniface is in there as well up toward the front of the race. We are seeing Palmer Phone there coming out of Switzerland, riding for Innovation. But Cartwright been coined the king of KISS racing a lot, and he is definitely also on the attack. KRT on the front of both the women's and the men's races right now, 6.6 watts per kilogram. The TT specialists are trying to walk away in both the men's and the races, men's and women's races right now. Cartwright here, 6.9 watts per kilogram, unable to break apart this race, though, at this point. And we can actually see the reaction live here coming from Kim Little to jump right onto Tim's wheel. The focus is there from Kim, looking like he does not want to allow that to get away at this point. Series leader still hanging out toward the front end of the pack right now, as you can see. Tim now backing off to 1.6 watts per kilogram, and it looks like Kim has Tim marked as the man to beat out there today, as he is following his wheel out there, it seems. I'm gonna go ahead and read through a little bit of the rules, though, on the day, as I know that a lot of times we do get questions about what exactly is the rules for the series. How do the riders, can the riders use power-ups? How are the points distributed? How does that all work? So here's a quick little description directly from Zwift, actually. Points are awarded for the first 20 European men's riders, from 20 points to 1 point in reversed order. So if you hit first place, 20 points on the day, all the way down to 20th place for 1 point. Points will count towards the overall standings that can be found over at zwiftpower.com. 10 races, best 7 count in the series. Prizes will also be awarded weekly in a weekly prize draw for all qualifying participants. The top 10 riders from the European League then will also be invited to the live final at a to-be-determined date and place. For the race info rules, no TT bikes are allowed. As you can see, nobody's on a TT bike out there. Power-ups are allowed at all times. Race eligibility is also impacted by some of the rules as well. Riders are required to wear a heart rate monitor. So in order to be eligible, they are compulsory. You have to wear a heart rate monitor in order to compete and be in the results. Z-Power riders will not be eligible for league points. So you have to be on a smart trainer or a power meter for these races. Riders must be registered also at zwiftpower.com. And riders producing over 5 watts per kilogram or for 20 minutes or more for your average power, FTP around 5 watts per kilogram, it would be assumed then, or over 6 watts per kilogram for your 5-minute will need some ZADA approval. And KISS Racing, the KISS race organizers handle all of the rules and regulations. They're doing a really great job with it, actually, keeping everything under wraps. Let's go ahead and see how things are going with some of the chat here over at the Twitch channel. Good to see Daffod hanging out here. I think Rachel could have been a pro. I'm with you 100% on that. Rachel has some amazing power numbers and has shown herself to be one of the strongest competitors we've ever seen out on Zwift. For those of you who didn't know, she was actually in the semifinalists in the first go at the Zwift Academy, Women's Zwift Academy, actually last year, and for work reasons did not accept the invitation to the finals for the Women's Zwift Academy, actually. So Rachel Elliott out there hammering away from the group right now in the women's race. Currently has 33 seconds over the rest of the group right now. She continues to walk away in that leader's jersey. Now, in the women's race still, though, we do have Kreider Cassie, Paul, Angerman, Falk there as well. Prinz is in there as well. So a solid chase group here that will be battling out for second place. And these points definitely matter between these women. If we can see between them, Cassie Baldy currently sitting in 6th place. Overall, let's go ahead and see where some of these women actually sit in these standings. Z Crowder in 2nd. She's in that chase group. Prinz as well, currently sitting in 10th place in that chase group. Cassie, 6th place overall right now, as you can see. Pole is in there as well, and I do believe she's in 9th place. So all of these riders are actually looking for some of those top spots in order to secure their spot in the top 10 and get that invite to the live final. So they're continuing to show up and looking to make this group for that 2nd place placing here. So solid job to them, and we'll see if they are able to hang on though to the pace that's being set here by Angerman. She continues to hammer at the front of this pack right along with Falk, and I think that her and Falk are trying to break things apart here and there. 4.4 watts per kilogram continually at the front. Kreider now kicking up in the 4 watts per kilogram, and perhaps thinking a little bit more of the chase group though, as Scott Asperheim Bergstrand is in there, as well as Kay Gray and a few other. Jen is in there, as well as Vanderbij, and these are all riders that are either trying to get within the top 10 at this point, grab some extra points, or are trying to hold on to their spot within the top 10. Anja Lundorf actually is in this group here right now, and Lundorf is currently a 4th place overall in the series, but sitting in 18th place on the day right now. And if she does not make her way into a top 10 position today, she could find herself moving backwards as we're getting closer and closer to where everybody has a best of 7 starting to show up on the leaderboard. So Anja definitely going to be motivated to work together with this group to bring back that first chase group, make it a large group sprint, or maybe bring it back and make an attack. Now in the men's race though, again, we are seeing some attacks taking place. Back to the live view coming from Series Little. Kim Little now up toward the front here on the attack, with Commissar on the front from Vision Cycling there holding his wheel. We do see a gap of about 2 seconds between Little and the other riders trying to get back onto his wheel actually. Maybe a group starting to split a little bit as we are seeing the turn there into the 1K to go banner for their first lap though out on the classic course. Series Leader makes his way to the front there. It looks like P-Phone there as well, and the Mail. Watch out for Mail though. He has been a threat for sure in these races lately. Not on the overall series leaderboard for the top 10 right now, but been sneaking his way into some of these sprints, taking some W's out there, I think, as well. Let's go ahead and see what his past results. We see 1 win for Vidar Mail, 54 points, 4 races total, currently tied for 13th place with Adrian Timmis actually from Cadence Sports. And so a 1st place and a 2nd place. Vidar Mail, watch out for him. Him and Tim Cartwright have been a threat on every single race that they've jumped into so far out here in the series. We do see Kayland here now from KRT as well, making his way to the front. He's been the workhorse lately for the riders in these crits. Not quite as much of a sprint from Kalen, so I think a lot of times KRT employs him as the domestique out there a little bit more for these races. More of a climber and a mountain biker, Kalen, an endurance specialist. But with all that endurance and all that power in the legs, he can head to the front of the pack and pull back anything he needs to support the racers around him there. As we do see Kalen mid-pack here, just waiting to see if anything's going to throw down from the racers. Let's go ahead and see what things are chirping up over at the Facebook. And what is Burger John Moore is asking? That is a great question. So, and he's wondering what's going on with the burger power up there. So there is actually no burger power up in game. This is a live feed coming from Kim Little that he's giving us from his RTMP feed actually. And there's a little bit of chatter. We can actually get a little bit of chatter of his between his teammates there as well, or maybe encouragements coming on there. Can't cover that up, but that is actually how Kim is covering up his power up, so that those in the live stream are unable to, so he's also live streaming somewhere else as well right now, and people are unable then to stream snipe him and see what power up he has for his advantages in the game. So he covers that up. Now we do see an attack here from, it looks like, Kim Little and Cartwright actually trying to cover that attack. It looks like here, Kim up and out of the saddle, 500 watts. Cartwright is off the front. Here's the Cartwright attack that he was responding to. Kim's only 1 second back at this point. Here we can see him close the gap down at this point now though. Kalen off the back just a little bit there though, as we do see Little close the gap immediately as he comes around the corner here. Will he bring it back? There are a few on his wheel. Up and out of the saddle still, 163, 164 beats per minute. And it looks like Cartwright continues to throw down the orange numbers there. Will he be able to bring back Cartwright? Now Boniface comes right on by. Here's the view from Boniface along with Tim. Now, if these three get away, some of the strongest riders we've ever seen out on Zwift, some of the champions of Zwift racing for sure, the heads of state are at the front here. Adam Webb, One Love, knows that this is an absolute threat. 10 watts per kilogram, aero power up, thrown down, 57 kilometers per hour. Now Phillips, now Innovation, now going. Here comes Hargreaves. There's Bruno Vieira, Whiteley, all of the strongmen now making their way to the front of the race, and everybody at the back just holding on, waiting for things to slow down. And it looks like Hargreaves now countering though as well with his own attack on the front here. Left and right, the attacks are starting to throw down as they head by. Buckingham Palace here now. Cartwright 6.5 watts per kilogram. Hargreaves continues 6.8, 181 beats per minute. Here comes another air power up left and right. Nobody's calm today. This is the race is being made by the racers today. They're not keeping it slow. It's not looking at each other. No holding hands today as Bishop goes off the front, 167 beats per minute with an aero power up. Jerry's there as well though, trying to bring that right on back. Cartwright now again 6.2. Anybody falling off the back of this, though, still 20 riders at least. Trzynski's there from Team Poland. Very quiet so far. I'd be watching out, though. Poland not really showing their cards just yet and keeping it fairly calm, letting everybody burn some matches. And if they go up and smoke on the pile and suddenly Poland comes around with a fire, we might see Team Poland going out the front at some point. Or looking for that sprint at the end. Always watch out for the man Trzynski. Trzynski as well. Depsky, we've seen him out there. Iwanski out there, it looks like they're supporting as well as Trzynski. Where is he at actually in the leaderboard right now? He has had some solid results. Not in the overall for the top 10 right now, though. Let's see where he's standing as. I know he's had some solid results in the series so far, though. And it looks like not holding down, though, within even the top 20. It will be Krzywonos, though, with a third, a second, and a second from Team Poland, though. Only man standing in the top 10 currently for Team Poland. Now they are heading through the Whitehall into Trafalgar Square. It looks like a lap rider here with Melting Tallow. Maybe going to jump in with the riders here and show some support to KRT or just let them go right on by. But now here goes Tim Cartwright again. Of course, always one of the most aggressive riders out on Zwift, and he is trying to break things again. He gives them a reprieve for a minute, gives his legs a rest for maybe a minute, 2 minutes, and then kicks again. And here we go into the square and on over toward that 1K to go banner. And we see Kalen here hanging on. Trzynski, it looks like Trzynski is there as well. Kalen Cartwright now making his way backwards into the group as they come around from those surges. Nobody going anywhere just yet. Third overall, Dempster, always the consistent one, always the smart rider. As you can see here, maybe not taking too many. He actually did take one W. He's got a 17-point average, though, Dempster. As you can see, he's always playing it very smart, following the moves. Very smart crit racing coming from Gavin Dempster. Third overall currently and holding solid to those points. Now, it might be a slow fade unless he can take some W's. If we do see the likes of Cartwright and Little, Soren Bay, Whiteley as well in there. Another consistent rider, but not a lot of W's from him out there. So we've got these shuffle arounds that are taking place in the series. And we'll see if Dempster is able to continue on with some strong showings or is just able to hold on to those overalls as we get those best of sevens coming in. We're getting toward that point where we are going to be week 6, week 7, week 8. Riders are going to start having their 7 races in, and we're going to start seeing where things actually stand for the overall series out here as we get further into these weeks. So that question though about the burger, what is the burger? There is no burger power up. That came through from the chat over at Zwift's Facebook. There is no burger power up. That is just a cover for stream sniping so people can't see it. It looks like Kim's calmed things down just a little bit. No serious attacks at this point. Able to follow them all as they all come through. And Ian Green Street, interesting comment coming through there. Don't forget to show the women's finish this week. Did we miss the women's finish last week, Ian Green Street? I'm pretty sure we got it last week as well. Apologies if you missed it though. And Brian O'Rourke also asking about the hamburger and soda power up. I actually love it that he's got that cover up over there. Gutted to be missing this tonight, but watching from work. Ross Blaney is letting us know. Who else is coming through here? And John Morthane, thank you for the explanation on the burger. Great job on the race call. No problem there, John. And looking through a couple more of the comments. And this is how to rip a group apart, Debsky is saying. And sneaky Brian O'Rourke is saying as well. So good to see all you guys chatting away over here at the Facebook. If you do at Zwift's Facebook, if you do have any questions or comments, bring them right on in. We'll try and interact with them as much as we possibly can, and definitely want to answer any questions you might have about the racing that is taking place out here today. So let's jump back in with the women's racing as things do calm down a little bit on the men's side of the Crit Series European edition presented by Tacx is what we're watching out here today. And it looks like in the women's race, fairly calm at this point. Prinz, though, it looks like on the attack with Cassie. And there were a couple of attacks, it looks like, that were able to break things apart. Cassie Baldy here on the front, 6.7 watts per kilogram. Not calm, actually, at all at this point. Cassie is actually trying to rip the legs off of her competitors at this point at 6 watts per kilogram before they even hit that uphill grind through Whitehall here and into the square. It's going to be an early attack, 174 beats per minute, trying to make those heart rates come up. Kreider now with, though, a counter comes right on by, 2.7 watts per kilogram, only 157 beats per minute. I'd be watching out for Z. She has been known to play these sprints very smart and go into the finish line at the right time with the right attack and take these sprints. But a lot of times unable to follow the wheels, though, of some of these riders who may be stronger TT specialists, stronger raw power riders like Angerman or like Falk. But if Kreider can hang on all the way to the finish line, I'd be watching out for her in the sprint, actually. But the question is, will Falk, Cassie, or Prinz or Angerman be able to break off the solid sprinter who is Z, who is definitely following the wheels well out there today. Now Angerman, though, with 8.4 watts per kilogram heading toward the front. Here come those orange numbers. Cassie now trying to break him again. It looks like 170 coming from her. Angerman at the front here now, 165 beats per minute now. Rachel Elliott there, 110 up ahead, gone from the rest of the pack. But the attacks are taking place into the square here as we see Prinz hanging out the back. 191 beats per minute, beaten like a butterfly right now, trying to hang on to Kreider's wheel. Looks like she's going to be able to do that for KRT team. And KISS Racing Team strong out in the race here today. She's just going to follow wheels, most likely not going to work at all, actually, with these women. Now, with Rachel that far off the front, though, and if an attack goes, I have a feeling Prinz may try to follow. Not sure there's going to be a whole lot in the legs, though, at 187 beats per minute. Maybe we can check out what the max heart rate is, though, from Prinz, as she is definitely holding a fairly high threshold at this point, unless she is even over threshold at 190s. But we have seen crazy high heart rates, though, from some of these riders out there. 202, 205 from some of them at times. Angerman, though, 4.4 at the front, still 159 beats per minute. Kreider sitting in, it looks like. Now, with the chase group, though, it's only 21 seconds. They're currently doing about 26 miles per hour. F8's here on the front of the race right now. And with a little change up of the name in game, That is the rider coming out of France here. Ludendorff as well, pole, and then it will be Reed up toward the front. Agmo, all a part of this chase group, actually. And that is actually Fred 76. For those of you who are unfamiliar, F. Haight here is the familiar rider to all of you. Fred 76 riding for the TFC team, the Friday Criterium team, out on course. This is the second chase group right now. 23 seconds is all they have. And some of that infighting between the riders here up at the front, with Cassie trying to break them, Kreider as well just hanging on. But that infighting might not turn out to be to their advantage, as the riders behind there are very organized, it looks like here. Angerman now looks like she's getting organized, definitely does not want them coming back. And, you know, with the top 10 all getting an invite, they may start having a little bit of a handshake between each other and say, look, we just need to hold off, keep these riders from catching us. There's points on the line here that we all need in order to hold on to this top 10 position. Let's make sure that these riders do not catch us. And they may be working together to try and hold on to the points that they can keep out on course here. So the women's race here definitely getting tactical as it goes out to 27 seconds between the first and second chase group out on course. Prinz, Cassie, Ingerman, all still in there. I think we lost, for some reason, maybe one or two of the riders there that are in it amongst this group. We've had a couple of avatars disappearing here and there, but I believe they will be coming back momentarily. We'll be able to get you a solid idea of who is all in there, as Cassie is riding along with Angerman and Prince, starting out their third lap out on course here. So back in with the men as they are heading into the climb here. It will be up toward the front. Zaranko here, Campbell, BRT as well, Davies. Now this is one of the chase groups, 44th place right now. Bergen is here as well. Buccellato now hanging on to the first chase group, I believe. Bishop's here. Now it's actually absolute mayhem, as you can see. People are dropping off like flies as we're about halfway through the race here. Kuhn is here up toward the front. Webb now, this is the main group up toward the front now as they head into their 2 or 3 laps to go now at this point. We'll double check on where things are at though, but 200 meters to go in this lap, as you can see. No serious attacks at this point, but lots of riders actually got dropped off around a few of the corners back there, as we are seeing as we go back to Adam here. 32 left in this lead group, actually. So Hoppen Reed is in there. V. Mail Mueller's in there as well. Currently 10th place overall in the series. I believe Bruno Vieira's in there. Tom Hargreaves sitting in 18th place overall in the series right now. And moving up toward the front there, where is Cartwright? Have they allowed him to get away? Whiteley is in there, looking around for the KRT rider. Kim Little's up there toward the front as well, but I am not seeing. Mail has made it. Has Cartwright gone off the front? Or perhaps is having, Cartwright is in there. We are seeing him. There he is, 4.8 watts per kilogram. So KRT still sitting pretty and calming down a little bit. 23 kilometers into this race. On the day, we will be racing for a total of 33 kilometers. And so I believe it is about 3 laps to go. 3 laps to go. We actually double check actually on that, as we do have a great view here from Little. 4 of 5. So 2 laps to go. 2 laps to go. 2 laps to go out on course. 10.2 kilometers to go out on course. Great to have this live view coming in from the current series leader. He's got that yellow jersey in Zwift. That means he is the series leader. And he told me specifically that I asked him, are you going to keep on showing up to all the races? Are you going to keep on racing them all the way through the finish? And he said, you know, even if I lock things down, I really like that yellow jersey. And so he doesn't want anybody taking it off his shoulders. Now, Team Experimental haven't been showing up in force, though, really. And he does have a teammate, though, it looks like, with Bay, who does have X in the name here, but Soren is sitting in 2nd place overall. So it's going to be a battle between the 2 Team Experimental riders, actually, for that jersey, but at least keeping it within the team, maybe, is what they're going to be thinking about there. Dempster and Cartwright and Whiteley there, though, the next ones that may be able to take that away. Now, again, Cartwright, 5 races is all he's got. He's got 3 wins. Kim Little's got 2 wins and a third. Cartwright definitely well placed. 16.4 average. Not very far off of Kim Little, though. On the average, though, Kim 16.3 average for the races. And that means that they are averaging about a 4th place finish in the races, actually. There's actually only one racer that is ahead of them in the averages. Actually, excuse me, no, 2 or 3 racers that are not showing up, though, for the races lately. Sebastian Sternfalk has an average of 18, but he's only done 2 races. A lot easier to have a better average with lower races. Those who are closer to the number of races that they've done, Gavin Dempster, actually, the consistent rider, sitting in 3rd place overall. He's averaging a 3rd place, actually, for the races. So definitely very consistent out. Now Brett Boniface here, 10 watts per kilogram off the front, 111 RPMs. Richardson not following up. Brett maybe not going to get a lot of response out there from the other riders here. We'll see if they do follow him up there or if anybody goes with him. Kim just keeping it calm, not too interested in chasing that down and maybe assuming that's going to come right on back. If we look at the live feed here from him, doesn't look super concerned. And 149 beats per minute currently here, 350 watts. So not too much of a concern. It looks like they're just going to allow Brett to go off the front here and assuming they're going to bring him right on back on the uphill. Now, Trzynski here, though, does look interested in bringing this back. 155 off the front. Early attack. Before you hit the left-hand turn, get out of sight, get out of mind, get a little bit of a gap because it's such a short climb that a lot of times you're not able to open up that gap enough on that climb. With 2 seconds, though, going into the climb, the question is, will Trzynski have enough of a kick? He's going to have somewhere between 8 to 12 watts per kilogram for the entirety of the climb here. Kim now looking a little more concerned, making his way to the front here. And let's see what this climb through the square looks like here. Up and out of the saddle, 360C, starting to ramp some things up. We'll see when the force comes in from the climb, what kind of response we see from him. Going into the orange numbers, here's the response now. We are seeing Richardson now going to the front right along with Mail. We are also seeing Evanson now, a rider I'm not familiar with actually up toward the front there. Boschen's there as well out of Denmark now, following things up very closely. 159 beats per minute, though. Not looking for an attack, though. Looks like this lap, his concern is mainly on following the wheels, but maybe caught out a little bit here as we're seeing Boatsen, Cartwright, Trzynski all on the front here now. And I have a feeling that Kim might have to start responding to some of this as these riders are starting to get a little bit of gap and following up the attack there of Brett Boniface now. And Boatsen now, Cartwright, 8 watts per kilogram, 9 watts per kilogram, Cartwright. Now, after the riders get their heart rate spiked, goes right on by, grabs a gap now. There is the gap between Cartwright and the other riders. If they do not close this down, it will be going away. And if we look, it is 5 meters out. Richardson grabs onto the wheel. The left-hand turn slows the riders right on down. They're heading into the bell lap and looking to make the break. Again, all back together. Dempster's there, always playing it smart. Tobias Mueller there as well. We are seeing Tom Hargreaves, Zwift HQ in the house as well. But it looks like Webb on the back here, playing it smart. 157 beats per minute. Richardson, 4.7 watts per kilogram. Trzynski's there. And we do see the yellow jersey at the front end of this pack. Kim Little keeping it calm, not wasting too much effort. I think he believes at this point it's going to be a sprint finish. And unless Cartwright or somebody else attacks around that corner, there's actually only about 2 other places where the riders can really get away at this point. It's going to be the left-hand turn around the corner at the end of this section of road, or the climb after the Palace through Whitehall. Those are the 2 places really where they can get away. And I have a feeling that it's most likely going to be a sprint finish on the day. And I think Tim Cartwright today is going to be the one to watch out for. We're starting to get into that second half of the season. He wants to take the W overall for KISS Racing Series. The organizers have their team in there showing up in force. He's going to want to show up for the team. He's going to want to also do similar to what his teammate Rachel Elliott has done and dominate the series in the second half here. We'll see if it can happen now. Within the women's race, though, things have changed up a lot, actually. We're seeing Kreider here 25 seconds off the back. super strong sprinter, but was unable to hang on to the attacks from Angerman and Baldy as well as Falk, and they were able to get rid of the strong sprinter, and that's what they were looking for this race out here today. Not going to be happening for Kreider for grabbing some extra points, and we may see some change-ups actually in the overall if Kreider stays off the back of this pack. Now, she will most likely be looking to work with Konebear and the rest, though, at this point. Only 22 seconds. That gap has gone back and forth between that chase groups actually now, and Kreider's going to be super, super interested at this point to be bringing this back, because right now she is in second overall in the series, currently with 101 points, and Patricia Angerman there in third place is coming up and riding up on her heels, though, with 77 points, 101 for Kreider, but only 4 races for Angerman, which means Angerman is going to grab an extra amount of points, actually, as Kreider already has 7, so it's a best of 7 for Kreider here still. She's going to be dropping off her worst race today, but Angerman's going to grab all the points that she gets out there today. If Angerman can grab 19 points from the sprint, or at least looking at 17 points, 16 points or so, if she stays away in this group, she will bunny hop a large amount of points into almost 100 points on that leaderboard and be nipping at the heels right there for that second place overall, actually. So Z is going to be super motivated right in here to work together with the rest of these riders and try and bring this back. Only 20 seconds, and the infighting is not actually there. It's very consistent, actually, between the riders here with Cassie, Angerman, and Falk. Now, we'll be right back with them as they head around for the finish of their race, but there's some serious attacks happening here as Kim is 400 watts, 360 beats per minute, following closely here as we have seen some attacks here from the front of the race. Around the corner, we said that was the one place that they could get away. Boniface did attack through that section of the course here as we are seeing him off the front here. Richardson following up closely here. There's the pack now, and it looks like Boniface with 1 second caused a little mayhem on the front. Iwanski here from Team Poland now, maybe working for Trzynski on the day we said earlier. DeCoaster here took a win a couple weeks ago. Be watching out for him as he makes his way into the top 10 top results here. Currently sitting in 7th overall, and DeCoaster, he took a W actually just a couple weeks ago, 5 races in, 72 points, currently tied with Peter Fohn actually in the overall. So be watching out for him. Fohn, though, out of Switzerland, up toward the front, riding for innovation, and he has actually not been able to take a win. He's had his best race for a third. Watch out for him to maybe have a solid power up in this final lap. But we are into the final lap. We're waiting for the big watts to be thrown down. Maybe a last ditch effort to the line. But most likely going to be a timing for the sprint in the final 300 meters. Usually it's all about, though, in these sprints, everybody, about that last few hundred meters, though, where you can kick and get away and try and break the other riders off your wheel with an aero power up. The drafting is so important, though, into those finals. Now, Team Poland, though, they've been so quiet, and suddenly on the last lap, we've got 3 on the front. We've got Trzynski, Iwanski is there as well, and Dunlia is there. No, that's not actually rider for Team Poland. There's a Team Poland rider off the front here. Yes, it is Dunlia here, 195 beats per minute, walking away actually, but he is on Z power, is unable to actually win the race, so they're going to let him go here. But here they go. Here's the attacks now. 300, 400, 500, 600 watts here coming from Mayo now. And this is one that you're going to want to follow. Up and out of the saddle. Here's the series leader trying to make it happen, as you can see here. 8 watts per kilogram coming from him, following all the wheels. But who's on the front boat here? Cartwright now, 9 watts per kilogram. Phone is there as well, 8.2. And now, will there be any breaks? That is the question. If they're unable to get away, it will most likely calm right on down and nobody's going to be going anywhere. What is going to be your prediction? Let's hear it. Who's going to take the win out there today? My prediction, Tim Cartwright. I'm going to say Cartwright wants to win every race from here on out through the rest of the series and get that yellow jersey before the finish. I'm calling out Cartwright. That's my prediction on the day. Let's hear, what do you guys think it's going to be? And we're seeing a couple here coming on through. Prince is 14 years old, George Cardera is saying, actually. Good to see that. Let's hear your predictions, though. I'm checking out Twitch chat, what they see over at Zwift Community Live, and looking through here. Leo saying Kim's going to throw that kick, power up, and it's over. We're hearing Victor saying Kim. We're seeing Jehu saying phone. We're seeing Kim Little there coming from Sean Churchill. A couple more predictions here coming on through. Kim Little, Trzynski from Board Pilot, all kinds of predictions. But here comes Cartwright, Boniface, 1K to go. And they're already attacking up and out of the saddle, everybody. Oh my goodness, this is happening from way out. Little follows it up very closely here. Boniface is throwing down that arrow power up from a K to go. And Little's 400 watts just following wheels, as you can see here. Will the series leader be able to make it happen? And now it's going to be Cartwright, as we can see here on the front end of the race. Boniface getting away from him, though, with that arrow power up. Cartwright's trying to follow it up, though, and he's leading things out, though. It's a full-on lead out from Cartwright for the rest of the riders. But look at this. It's an arrow power up at the last moment. Wiley's right on his wheel, though. Is he going to be able to make it happen, though? That's the question. Here comes Kim Little. Kim Little to the line. Will he be able to hold on? Here comes Thomas here. Oh, my goodness. Kim Little, series leader, is going to make it happen, it looks like. But now at the last second, no. Here comes Hargreaves. No, it's Hargreaves. Tom Hargreaves, the crit specialist, makes it happen. Oh my goodness, what a race. Tom Hargreaves at the last moment across the line. Look at those times on the sprint, though, you guys. I think he broke 9 seconds, 8.81. Insanity. Oh my goodness, Hargreaves. And there was one right on his wheel there. I think it was a BRT. I'm not positive. Let's look at the replay. What an effort there all around from all the riders. But that was one of the best sprints I've ever seen out on Zwift, hands down. Let's see how it played out here between the riders here. And it looks like it was, hold on one second here. We've got to remove this one. And let's bring this one right on in. And it looks like here comes Little. I thought he was going to hold on to it to the line, but then at the last second, you can see Hargreaves coming on like a freight train, 14 watts per kilogram out of nowhere with that arrow power up. Right along with him, we do see right on his wheel, Sword Bay as well. Cartwright trying to hang on. It's all so incredibly close. Look at how close this finish was, you guys. And right at the line there, Hargreaves, Wiley there, followed up, it looked like, by Little, maybe sitting in 5th place, and a couple of the riders behind them, I think Cartwright and then Bay, able to hold on along with a BRT rider. I don't know, we'll have to wait for it. It's all a mess when it comes to how close it was there between the riders. What an effort all around from all of them. But now, back in with the women's racing. Crazy action. I was way off, though, on my prediction because Hargreaves with the upset. ZHQ is in the house showing that they know how to sprint as well out on Zwift. What an awesome race there between the riders. But now, back in with the women's racing, we've got Rachel Elliott, so far off the map, we can't even see her, just walking away with this one. She's got over 2 minutes over the rest of the racers here, but it's going to be Angerman and Falk here now trying to hold off the hard chasing group of Vanderbridge and Fred 76, C. Scott, all right there. It's only 15 seconds here. Kreider is probably like pulling out the whip going, let's go. Get it moving. I need this sprint finish. I got to grab these points here. Has Kreider been able to hang on, though, is the question here. All the way to the, yes, she has. And this is a very large group. Huge chase group, actually, here. 10th place. We're looking 13th place. We're looking at like 15 women chasing this down. And usually it's all about making the break within the women's race and then just holding on to it and sprinting it out between the three. But they're still going to have to work very well together. The question is, within this women's race, are there any teammates, though, in that chase group that are going to sacrifice themselves, play the domestique, throw down 4 watts per kilogram on the front, 5 watts per kilogram on the front, and just sacrifice their race in this last half a lap here? Is that going to happen or not? That is the question here. Rich Elliott off the front, still the series leader, as you can see, walking away with this one and dominating this series. Unstoppable so far, wins every race that she walks into. as you can see here, series leader right now with that yellow jersey on. But Z Crowder, Patricia Ingerman, Anya Ludendorff, Frederica Haight there, as well as Cassie Baldy, Kristen Fault, Vanderbridge is in there, as well as Pohl and Prinz, all a part of those chase groups that are battling out, trying to hold on to 15 seconds between each other. There's still a half a lap to go here. 15 seconds is nothing, and this is a huge group that could chase them down, but they got to work together to make it happen. They've got to send the teammates to the front here. Z Crowder being forced to do the work there as a sprinter. That's not usually what you want if you are one of those sprinters, but she doesn't have any teammates out there. Vixen is out there as well with Carrie Conabear, but she doesn't have any teammates either trying to make a pull out there. It's very segregated when it comes to the teams out there between the women out there. There are a couple of KRT riders out there not looking super interested, though, to make the pull and pull this back in. It looks like Prinz along with Gray just willing to sit in and wait for the sprint. Look at all the KRT color, though. Maybe going to start setting up for the sprint here. There is a lot of KRT color. Look at this. So it's KRT versus the world at this point. I mean, we've got Prinz, we've got Bergstrand in there, we've got Paul in there as well for the KISS Racing team. Gray is in there for KRT. It's their race to lose, it looks like, at this point, with how many jerseys they've got in this finish. So let's hear your predictions, though, for the sprint between these riders. Obviously, it's going to be Rachel Elliott off the front, taking the W, and just unstoppable, hands down. But between Falk, Baldy, and Angerman, who's going to be taking the W between them? Prinz is in there as well, it looks like. Actually, we see a little bit of attack coming from her, and that was just actually a mix-up in the overall orders there, as they do take this left-hand turn into the final climb now. This is the final climb, 15 seconds. The question is, will we see a KRT train with aero power-ups over the top of this climb, hammering away into the final K and maybe ramping up for a sprint? 15 seconds can be eaten up like that, especially when you have surging on the front into a sprint from those riders. Only 3 here. Cassie Baldy now 7 watts per kilogram. Angerman making her way to the front as well. Will they want to try and get away early here? Usually that's what we've seen from either Falk or Angerman, and not a sprint finish, actually. But it looks like perhaps there is not the effort there this time around. Actually, no, Falk, I was incorrect. 180 beats per minute gets 7 meters over the chasers there now, and there is no draft over 5 meters. So Falk goes ahead and throws her chips on the table. Early power up, very early power up, maybe not the sprinter, and does not want to risk the sprint, trying to make it happen very early on. Angerman, though, shuts it down, and actually with the power ups, that is a counter to the arrow power up. Actually, if you do have a drafting power up and you're able to hold onto the draft and you throw that down when they throw that arrow power up, you shut it down and you hold on to that arrow power up, no problem, gain that speed and hold right onto that wheel. Falk was able, though, to make it a 1-2 situation. Woman versus woman in this situation here now, able to drop off Cassie Baldy. Cassie is gone now. Cassie's going to just be thinking about whether or not she can hold off the chase group here, as we've got Angerman 4.6 watts per kilogram making her way to the front now. No power-ups left, though. They already used all their advantages. It's going to be Watts v Watts out on course now. And Angerman showing that she's got the watts. As she makes her way to the front, she's got over 6 meters. Falk's going to have to respond now. 180 beats per minute into that threshold already. I think this might be said and done. It's 2 meters. She has to close the gap right now. Angerman does this every single week. She breaks them at the 1K to go or so and just walks away, doesn't look for the sprint, and it looks like it's said and done unless Falk has a solid effort at this point. There might be a little assistance here from some of the riders she's coming by here. Maybe grab on at 7 meters. It's all about, it's a race of 2 meters. It's just about 2 meters at this point. She has to close it down now. Rachel Elliott is across the line. She takes the W for the day. We did not want to lose the sprint, though, so we were unable to see the finish for Rachel Elliott. Sorry about that, everybody. And no, please get us back to... I can't, there's nothing I can do about here. Let's see if I can get back in to the front of the race with some help from the men's feed. And if I can, I will do so as quickly as I possibly can, but I have a whole bunch of, I just entered back into the men's race, so I can't get out of it. And I apologize. I am so sorry, you guys. We are working on getting some tools for fan view, so that does not happen. But we are stuck in the pens. I will get back with the women's race as quickly as I possibly can. I'm waiting. So essentially at this point right now, you guys, I'm waiting on T. Nagy to come across the line, who is part of the men's race. And as soon as he comes across the line, I will be able to give you a view into what is happening for. I am so sorry, you guys. There's nothing I can possibly do about it, though. It is a bug that's in the game right now that jumps us around in fan view, and I'm unable to hold on to it. So right now, this is the finish for Nagy, and he's going to finish up and give us hopefully a look. I can't click on a men's racer, though. I have to click on a women's racer. And hopefully be able to see what is happening here for their finish. Cartwright here already finished, so will not put us back into the event. Looking through here and seeing if we can find the rest of the women's finish. And of course, it's almost like a jinx. Somebody said you need to cover the women's finish, and you guys saw it live there. It was no part of our broadcast that we wanted to get away from it. We just got bugged out and got put in the pens. I apologize again. I'm sorry. I wish that would not have happened. We'll take a look at the results as quickly as we possibly can here. I am clicking through to see if we can find the women out on course here. And perhaps we do have Svensson here is going to give us a peek, though. I think back into the women's race. Nope, we keep on going back to the pens there. I am looking around here. I think they've already probably come across the line. And I'm going to take a look for the results here real quick here. I'm not even wanting to look at the chat at this point, to be honest. And Yana Stendon says, oh no. And we are seeing, don't worry, Nathan. Thanks, Wanjo. Thanks, Nathan. No problem, Rachel. And Rachel Elliott says, thanks, Nathan. Thank you. Nathan, great commentary. Anna Odebera, I wish there's something I could have been done about that. But there was nothing. So again, apologies that was not able to catch the finish. Looking through here, and we are not. I'm not even able to find them. Looks like they're already across the line. So let's go ahead and see what the results were for the race, at least here today, as I believe we will have updates over at zwiftpower.com, and I am looking at them right now. The top 20 are across the line, it looks like. So Rachel Elliott able to take that W with a time of 45:31. Patricia Angerman did walk away with it. Looks like it was very close, though. Kristen almost came back to the wheel there with it looks like it was only about 6 seconds or so. So Patricia was able to walk away with that solid result. Kristen Falk there takes third place. Cassie Baldy with fourth. Z Kreider with fifth place. She's going to grab a couple extra points there. Solid result there for Z, as she does have 7 in, so she's going to start dropping off her overall results there, though, and or dropping off her worst results. But Kristen, along with Patricia, Kirsten Pohl, Asperheim, Frederica Haight there as well, Fred76, all starting to make their way into the top 10s, though, as they're starting to get toward their best of 7. Carrie Konebear, as well as Claire Reed, rounding out that top 10. Solid result. Now, Wilhelm Prins, though, as well as Steve Ingmo, outside the top 10, though, on the day. So, those are riders that are going to start having to watch out for. The likes of Kristen, obviously. Frederica Haight, 8th place out there today. Anja Ludendorff there looks like 17th place, sitting in 4th place right now. Gonna need to start thinking about how can we play it so that we can get into those breaks and get a couple more points, because we are going to start seeing some change-ups within the overalls as the riders start getting their best of 7 out there. So that is the week 5 results that we were just looking at right there. Week 6 is in the books, and the top 10 was Rachel Elliott, Patricia Angerman, Kristen Falk, Casti Baldi, Z. Kreider, Kirsten Pohl, Hilde Asperheim, Fredrika Haight, and then it will be Carrie Konebear and Claire Reed. That was your top 10 on the day. Tomorrow, we'll come out with the official results, and we'll let you guys know how the series lines up for week 6 for the women's and the men's. On the day for the men's, let's go ahead and see how things lined up for their finish. And it was, we did see that amazing replay earlier. I'm going to go ahead and reload here for the results and see if we can bring it in for the men's race. As that was, what an effort there from the riders, actually. And looking through here for the men's side of things, Tom Hargreaves, solid result for him. That last second effort to the line, what an amazingly timed. I mean, he got it in the last 20 meters. I mean, that was like the last 10 to 20 meters sneaking right on by with a sub 9-second result on the leaderboards for the sprint. Jiri then Kleckner, second place, followed by Tim Cartwright and then series leader Kim Little in there. But, you know, we were talking earlier about Hargreaves sitting in 18th place overall, not even in the leaderboards right now, and making his way, though. He's got enough races to get a best of 7. If he keeps showing up with a sprint like this, we might see him in this overall. This is the leaderboard for week 5, okay, right here. But the series right here, if I read out for the today, Hargreaves, Kleckner, neither of them in the top 10. Cartwright, though, currently 4th. He took 3rd on the day. He's going to bump up because he doesn't have 7 races in. He's only got 4, so that's 5 races. He's going to definitely jump up a little bit in the overalls, I think. Whiteley there with the 5th place. He's currently sitting in 5th place overall, so obviously very consistent. Kim Little, series leader with a 4th place. I think he'll hold on to his jersey. A lot of people starting to nip at those heels, looking to try and take that off his shoulders there. Soren Bay there for 7th. Esper Commissaire there, Fossheim there for 6th place overall. Not in the overall for the series, but I think he is going to also be another one that's going to be starting heading towards his best of 7 and getting into the series overall there for the points. There, Guy DeCoster for 9th, Vidar Mel 8th. We're seeing Gavin Dempster, Mr. Consistent. Maybe not quite as a consistent there today as he took 10th place on the day. So that is your top 10 overall. We'll be back tomorrow with Zwift Community Live Chat. We'll talk a little bit about the racing. We're going to have Kim Little, I think, on as a guest for Zwift Community Live Chat tomorrow as well, 2 p.m. CST on Zwift Community Live. If you haven't done so already, head on over to our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Zwift Community Live. That's the place to get live updates. Every time we go live, you will get a push notification to your email as well as to your Twitch app on your phone or your Twitch app on your PC. You'll get push notifications if you turn them on over at twitch.tv/Zwift Community Live as a streaming platform. That's the place really to consume all of the streaming media that we are producing. And otherwise, if you can also always follow for updates and the latest things that are going on our Twitter as well as our Facebook. I think that's going to be it from us today. I want to say thank you to Kim for giving us the Zwift on Board live view of his racing experience. Great job to him and all the racers out there in the men's race. Great job to all the racers out there in the women's race as well. We'll be back later tonight for the North American race as well, the East race tonight at 8 p.m. CST. I believe it is, but we'll be back for that. No, excuse me, 8 p.m. I believe it is EST. Let me double check the promos here real quick just to make sure I got the times right. And yeah, it is 8 p.m. EST for the East, 7 p.m. CST, excuse me on that. So we'll be back for that broadcast tonight on Zwift's Facebook as well as on our Twitch channel. You can always check out all our VODs over on our YouTube as well. We have all our videos on demand over at YouTube. My name is Nathan Garrett coming at you from Zwift Community Live. I want to say thanks to all the viewers out there, all the racers, and as always, everybody, great job out there. Always super exciting to watch your racing. A big old ride on.